It would turn to greenish. Oh no, we're gonna do the camera. Camera's gonna stay on the pups unless you want them on you. Hello? Is the phone? Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, we're on.
We're on.
Hello?
All right.
Hello, can you hear us?
Good evening. Live from Ipswich, Mass. It's Christmas evening. And here at Service Dog Project, in the main ballroom, we have Lexi, Eileen, and Debbie, and Annie. And there's a few pups around. Bailey is resting comfortably under her green fluffy. And Dee Dee is in the back room of the sun porch. And then help me with the 3 pups that are in the kitchen.
Digby and Orville.
And they have finally crashed a little bit. They were kind of zooming around inside and out. But Merry Christmas to all. There's no official mail call tonight, but Pam asked if I could entertain the troops. It won't be like the Bob Hope Old Christmas specials, but we'll do what we can do. And we thought first we'd actually, I'm sure all of you have read this from the Daily Doggy a couple of days ago, but we felt it was worth reading out loud because it says, I think, what all of us feel. A Christmas thank you to every employee, worker, and volunteer at Service Dog Project, young and old. My being old, Lexi being young. We can't name names because there are so very many of you. No one more important than another. The dog sitters, pup teachers, kennel cleaners, bill payers, office organizers, groundskeepers, dog trainers, laundry doers, shot givers, volunteer coordinators, mail readers, and master overseer. Poop scoopers all, smiling, encouraging, teaching, all with a common goal, united by love, to prepare these great dogs for their lives ahead with the people who need them. We did not even know that there were service dogs for people with stability and mobility issues. Our son John, 38, was experiencing the increasing symptoms of his myotonic dystrophy. He was becoming bent over, was down to 2 days a week of work, and slowly becoming discouraged and depressed. When someone suggested a service dog, we researched on the web, which led us to visit on a Sunday open house at SDP. There were lots of people, big dogs, lots of food, big dogs, brightly painted buildings and tents, and big dogs. We truthfully didn't know what to think when we left, but 2 things stood out clearly. The facility was exceptionally clean, didn't even smell like a dog facility, and the people there were all smiling and obviously loved what they were doing. Fast forward to now. John has been given the gift of Jessie, a svelte and petite 122-pound beautiful Harl, and sometimes drama queen. It has been 5 months now, and to say it hasn't been without a lot of work and refocus in our household would not be true. But now John stands tall. His confidence has returned and even grown. He is mentally sharper and clearer than he has been in years. Everywhere John and Jess go, people stop them and want to talk. He has had to stop working completely now, but has a reason to get up in the morning and has hope for the future. He has just returned to volunteer at an adult daycare with Jessie, where he had volunteered previously, and looks forward to more time visiting nursing homes and schools with his new best friend. None of this would be possible without all of you, each one. You encouraged us with the paperwork. You encouraged us with the bonding process. You taught us about the care and loving of Danes, and you even let us become poop scoopers and kennel cleaners so we would begin to give forward. You helped us with all the little, and sometimes not so little, bumps in the road. You made time in your schedules for training, visits, and much, much more, all with smiles, love, laughing, and encouragement. So much giving, so much caring, so much love, so much sacrifice. It reminds us this Christmas season of the loving, giving, caring, and especially sacrifice that God gave us in the gift of His Son Jesus, whose birth we now celebrate. We are taught that God's ways are not our ways. We don't understand the tough times, and sometimes we have trouble accepting the good times. But we want to encourage all of you at SDP to keep moving ahead through the difficult, all the while taking time to enjoy the experience, the good around you. What you do is changing lives. We are only one small story of many. There are many more Taylor families out there who may not even yet know about Service Project, but whose lives will be changed and who will be touched in very real ways by each of you and the work, sacrifice, and love you put forth every day. We look forward to continuing relationship with all of you as we work to give forward in some many small way for future recipients of the greatest service dogs anywhere. Great Danes from SDP. Thank you all from the Taylor family. Christmas 2015. And I know I was at work reading that, and I was like,
I was crying.
and I think that's so true for all of us, whether we have a service dog or not. I think that's what we feel, and that's why we keep coming back, and that's why we pick up the poop. And that's why it's these, we know these dogs as service dogs are changing lives, but I know as service dogs in training and little puppies, they're changing my life. They having an impact on me.
Well, I think they change a lot of the CP's lives too. That people that can't get out as much, they have this wonderful place to focus on and love these animals as though they're their own. You know.
Can everyone hear, Debbie? Well, we're gonna go with that. They can hear you. But
well, it's 45 seconds until that comes around, so.
But it is. It definitely, I know, has changed my life over the past. I've been volunteering a little over 3 years now, and when I came here that Santa Sunday, and I was like, I'm gonna come, drop off a gift card, do a little thing. I live a long way away. I got a bunch of other volunteer projects, and they suck you right in. The dogs, the people. The first time I met a recipient, I was like, I'll pick up poop for the rest of my life if it's going to get another dog out there. And I think that's why we're all here Christmas Day, because we wanted to keep going, and we're trying to get Grace to take 5 minutes to rest.
Absolutely.
And you know, Richard of Washer and Dryer, Richard Fame, when he was here last month, he was my sous chef in the chop shop one morning.
Oh.
And we actually talked a lot about volunteering and such, and I had brought up Junior Achievement because that's one of my favorite volunteer items, and he actually ran the New Jersey Junior Achievement or something, you know. So we actually talked a lot about that, and then we talked about volunteerism and such, and there are some organizations out there that they're so overwhelmed that they can't even get volunteers in because, like Steve and I were talking about, you know, we've applied at places and they don't get back to you or say, oh yeah, we will, but they just can't quite coordinate things. And I know when I started volunteering here, I was like, well, I can't give a real schedule because of work and such, and Carlene said, you know what to do, just, you know, so I'd come after work or come on Saturdays and I'd pick up poop and I can do dishes and things like that, and I've graduated to other things, but it was very much, ooh. And now joining us is Araya. Araya, do you have anything you want to say to your fans? But what I think,
She wants to say,
I don't
"Where's
think
my
it,
Grace?"
I think it initially caught Richard off guard, but then he smiled, is because I said, I've always said this to my friends, like, well, who's the last new friend you met? And they're like, oh, my first few minutes. And I'm like, no, it doesn't count at work because you go to lunch on Fridays. That doesn't count. Well, no, a gym friend doesn't count. Like, who is someone that you could count on if you needed something? Or, and the reciprocal, that you would want them to feel comfortable to call you if you needed that. And I keep coming back to Service Dog Project because there are people here, both CPs and people that I see live, that are real friends to me, that I know I could call in dire straits, and I feel they can call me, and I've heard that from CPs who have come to Dogfest, their roommates, you know, first Dogfest. You know, they're now visiting each other and staying in regular contact. And it's not just, you know, the little email. It's you do feel a connection, and there's something about this place that I think brings that out in people. And I think it's because it's, no drama. I mean, how much drama can there be? You're all smell like poop, and you're probably soaked from washing dishes and laundry and such. I mean, it's real bare bones in the dirt, in the streets, and you have to depend on each other. So it's going to be a deeper relationship than other type things, and that's that magic of Service Dog Project. So this being the spirit, the season of miracles and such, I know we're living one right here. But I want to tell you about the Buddy Jr. adventure. A couple weeks ago, so the Night in Bethlehem, Manchester by the Sea, which is our community a few towns away, again invited us back, and Carlene had said take Buddy Jr. and put him in the back of the truck. So Bud was available because I don't do trucks, and Grace, of course, had already loaded up the truck before I got here, and Bud was like, "Would you have double of everything?" Because then I brought all the hay and the buckets and things in. But getting Buddy Jr. into the back of the truck, well, he's grown. He's not the little Buddy Jr. that Grace picked up and brought in for mail call a couple months ago. He's probably 150, 175, and the truck is, high. It's not like getting into a trailer where you're just walking up a little ramp. So, he wasn't really happy with that. So, Grace has got him from one side. I'm on the other side of the truck with a frying pan full of apples, trying to coax him in. Then Steve got in the truck, the back seat of the truck, and is trying to pull him in. Bud's pushing, Grace is picking up. I don't know how he ever got in there, but he finally did. And off we go. And he's, looking out the window, so there's definitely a lot of donkey kisses on the windows. And we're driving some pretty nice towns. And you'd see cars pull up to us, and you'd think, oh yeah, there's a couple driving and they got a dog in the back. Whoa, that's not a dog. You can see them like their faces. So we kind of had some fun with that. When we pulled into the church, this family pulled in next to us, and all of a sudden, all 5 of them saw that it wasn't a dog in the back seat. And the smiles on their faces was hysterical. So then we need to get Buddy out. And he actually jumped out. He also had been a good donkey, and he had pooped in the frying pan. So he's sort of running through the church parking lot. We've got him on, a figure 8. And then he, of course, stops. And then we got to, kind of push him and pull him, and we finally get him into this. We're in a different area. And the pen is now in front of the church, right on a road. So we were a little nervous because it's like, well, he knows cars in the parking lot here, but it'll be different with, cruising by. But he was doing fine, and we had all of our supplies, hay and grain and fluffies and a pitchfork and a bucket and all, so we were ready. Well, the 2 pygmy goats from last year came again. And as Carlene would say, they're fat. We definitely got fat from last year. Now, they just get dropped off. And a couple teens who dressed as shepherds are supposed to basically watch them. So they come in, and Buddy wasn't quite sure what to do with them. And one of them even tried to butt head him. And Buddy jumped back, and Bud and I kind of almost stumbled because even though he's a mini, he's a donkey, and he's strong. So when we heard from that, we tried to keep them separated just because they kind of scared Buddy a little bit. Now last year the goats escaped, and because no one was watching them, I was chasing them, which, just picture that. And yelling, because I saw some teenagers at the other end, and I'm like, block those goats, and these 2 guys did. So, we had some couple near escapes, but they didn't. Note that one of them just decided to eat the wood of this makeshift pen and tried to escape that way. So I'm screaming for help because I'm trying to pull him out because his head's now stuck in the fence. So I'm yelling. Bud's trying to keep a hold of Buddy Jr. Finally, the person that I know comes, and she's pushing the head in, and I'm pulling out, and I think it was Lucy. Finally get her back in. Buddy was so good. Everyone loved him. a lot of people knew about Service Dog Project from Mary's time here. People remembered Buddy from last year. Some people knew because of Bella and George. I did meet a guy who he was a military dog handler in Vietnam, which I had never met someone before. And he had read the book War Dogs, which if you haven't read is a very good book, but you might want to cry a few times during it. Particularly when they talked in like World War I and World War II, where families would donate their dogs to become military dogs. And I can't imagine myself saying to my Scooter Bell, "I'm going to have you be a military dog." Like, it wouldn't happen. And I love my country, but wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen. So it was really a very successful night. Mary and Joseph weren't texting all night like they were last year, so I was happy about that. And Buddy Jr. did do some Christmas carol singing because there were kids singing, and then all of a sudden but he was very, very cute. And we had told Grace and Steve, you know, we might have to call you if we can't get him back in the truck. So we take him back, getting back to the truck, and he's running through the parking lot. We're doing well. Of course, then he stops and wants to go the other way, so Bud had to kind of redirect him. And then we get to the truck, and yeah, he's not having any of it. And so we're like, maybe we should go. Well, we didn't want to get someone from the, you know, from the event, because it's like, you don't want a civilian getting hurt, a little donkey. So I called Grace and I'm like, yeah, we need you. 2 seconds later, this big guy comes up and says, "You need some help getting your donkey in the truck?" It was again Christmas miracles, and he basically picked up Buddy and put him in. And I was like, oh my gosh, you just saved our lives. So I called Grace, no need to come. Which was good because they were eating, I think, rum cake that night, so we didn't disturb them. And Buddy is very good in the truck. He likes to put his head actually in between Bud and I, so he likes snuggling. So he was very cute. And when we got here, he just jumped out of the truck. So he likes to get out of the truck. And I think with some practice, and now our special guest. Do you have anything to say to your adoring fans?
No, horses, donkeys, and chickens are done.
Oh my!
Pam, did you see the person that wanted your laugh as a ringtone?
No, I didn't.
No, you missed that one.
Oh, that could be a fundraiser for SDP.
She didn't get what she wanted for Christmas.
Is there an app? Is there an app for that?
Is there an app for that? It scares people.
There is actually.
Yeah, let's
You record something, and that's how I have a bunch on my phone. But
yeah,
I missed that.
That's how we'll make some money. We'll have Pam do her laugh as ringtones, and we could have Carlene do, or actually Earlene with her accent do your voicemail. A real Boston.
Yeah.
She has a real good
So Buddy Jr. was a huge success. I think we'll probably be invited back next year. We do need to practice getting. Actually, we thought he's probably better in a trailer just because the slope isn't as big getting into it, and he might have a little more because it's hard to get him in a back seat. But it was fun to drive around with a donkey in a back seat, you know, and have people look at you and such. But, Debbie, did you want to kind of talk about your past couple days? Well, you're only 24 hours here. And
My 24 hours, well...
She's still walking and talking, so that's a good thing. Check back with us in another week.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to sleep pretty well tonight.
But you had 10,000 steps by 2 o'clock?
Yeah, I made my 10,000 steps by somewhere between 1:30 and 2, so not a bad thing because an extra, if I walked out of here losing a couple of pounds after being here for 9 days, I'd be actually really happy. If I don't, I won't be unhappy either, but yeah, this was a great place for me to be today because I could be happy with lots of dogs and lots of people that were great people to be around, so I'm going to enjoy today, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy the next, I guess it's 8 days from now.
8 days.
Yeah.
8 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah, my dogs are going to be crazy when I come home smelling of multiple Great Danes. But they'll deal with it.
Especially puppies.
Yeah, yeah.
See, my dogs get worked up over the puppies.
Really?
Yeah, they just, and then after I shower, they all have to come over, smell me. I'm like, yes, I have clean clothes on.
And mark you.
Yeah.
Well, my little one who's staying with a friend, he's actually the worst. So maybe I can get my clothes washed and clean because I won't pick him up till Sunday because I don't get home till.
And you can do laundry anytime here.
Yeah, I didn't bring enough clothes to jeans-wise to last the whole week, so I definitely will be throwing jeans at least in with some fluffies or whatever when I need them. Yeah, I talked to Regina. Got the scoop on how
And
things
Regina,
work.
I gotta say, that's the funniest thing that you paid for dinner the other night. That
Yeah,
was
Carly wants to
hysterical.
know how you managed to figure out which restaurant it was.
That was, again, the magic of SDP. Things happen.
Yeah, Carlene was like, she said to me, she goes, I don't know how she did that because we've only ordered from that place maybe twice. And
The Pomodores.
Yeah.
is that where it was? Yeah.
Well, as Carlene said once, she said it 200 times. She loved that meal we got from there the other night. So it's a good place to order from.
Yeah.
A happy Carling makes a happy place. And I spend probably almost 4 hours a day in my car, so I tend to do a lot of thinking, which is why sometimes I miss my exit and I start to come here instead of going to work, which, is problematic, so I need to stop that. But I was thinking about, and today we're actually just looking at this beautiful picture of Jonah with his family, a Christmas card, and we all went, "Oh, Jonah!" But I was thinking about all the individuals and families that take in these, perfect pets, fabulous failures, those who don't graduate from service dog school, and I don't think I've ever thanked them enough because, they are taking someone who may have, vision, hearing issues, or a little quirk that means they can't be a service dog. So in some of the cases, these families have opened their hearts and homes to these dogs and are giving them lovely lives, and in some cases becoming their service human. And you think of Sandy, who is, takes in all the retired dogs and such. That, thank you all. I mean, that's a lot that you're doing, and we greatly appreciate it. So, but yeah, Jonah looks happy. I'll try and get this up closer to the thing later on. In his red bandana with his family, and it's just adorable. And
Hold it up in front of the camera.
I know I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, I could.
No, you're too tall. All right, where is the camera?
So in between our general talks, we'll read a few cards in case you missed them during mail calls.
Someone wants an update on the sick puppies.
I think everything's the same. I don't think anything's better or worse, but I don't know. Grandma's still getting fluids. I think they're all getting fluids. Grace is out there now with them.
Yeah, Grace has to do them last so that she doesn't bring any of the contamination to anybody else. So if she comes in with an update, somebody here will, or Carlene will, post one for you when we know.
And I will tell you, Dee Dee is a fast dog. And leaps tall buildings in a single bound. Nice dog. But yeah, fast. Hi, Carlene. I hope you enjoyed my Confessions of an SDP Addict. I think we're all on the 7-step program. I was so excited to see that my reference to SDP as my happy place made the DD that I decided it was worth $1 up. And I'll tell you, a lot of these cards here, it's $1 up. So, thank you very much, because all those dollars do add up, and we greatly appreciate it. I know I've had to throw in a few bucks in the jug. Carlene and all members of Service Dog Project. Thank you for giving me a place to go and be happy watching all the fun at Crazy Acres. When I lost my fur baby this year, I wasn't sure how I would get through it, but every day I turned into your mail call, and watching all these beautiful puppies has helped with the loss. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And I think a lot of us, yeah, I know at work when I'm ready to put my head against my desk, it's like, can I sneak in a quick puppy fix and get me through the next few hours? Carlene, please find the enclosed check for the Fun Fund. After I visited in November, I set up at 2 more craft shows and did very well. I'm sharing a portion of my sales with SDP. I know it will be put to good use. Believe me, every dollar is put to good use here. Merry Christmas to all. Hope you will have a wonderful holiday season. Carlene, I know you'd prefer cash to gifts, but I can't help myself. I love to shop for someone else. In this case, you. If it helps, almost all of the clothing came from Walmart, and perhaps you can return for cash, or paint, or fence posts, or something, or pass the clothes around to the staff and volunteers. As per one of your recent doggy dailies, I bought various sizes so you can layer in the cold weather. Anyway, I hope something catches your eye favorably. I'll tell you, another page. A happy, healthy, fun year-end and year to come. Best wishes and blessings to all, and love to you and all the 4 Lakesters. I can't begin to tell you how much I admire you and your operations. You're my model. She after whom I wish I could mold myself. Is that a grammatically correct, understandable sentence? Yes, it is. And it comes from the heart. And I'll tell you, many of you have sent over gloves and hats and sweaters over the years. And every one of them are worn and are thankful. And I know I have a purple pullover sweater that someone sent in. And I'll tell you, I think I have 3 knit hats because dogs are always pulling them off, so I lose them. And I just go to the bin out here, and someone every year makes all these hats and things. And then spring comes, and oh, there's my yellow hat. So thank you for those. Let's see, what do we have here? Carlene and everyone, just a little note to say I am dollaring up for the 5th times I watched Bella and George get their well-deserved Service Dog Award. We're still talking about that on George in the video. When you think of all those people that were there and the noise. And I love that Carlene said, well, the elementary school kids probably trained him on that, having all this noise. But the point where they had just finished showing the video of Bella and her mom, and they say, George, and he just very slowly turns his head, like on command, to the camera. And then at the end, Bella doing the wave. And yes, I'm waving. Like at the end of a baseball game when everyone's leaving and they're like, yeah, we just won the World Series, and waving. And just the confidence in her in doing that. And I will tell you, and we all say every story is a, Bella and George story, but Bella's the one that we're seeing is, I saw Tuca a few weeks ago, formerly Agatha. Tuca's, first, there was this SUV coming down the driveway with a sunroof, and there's a dog with its head out of it. So I'll be honest, I just thought that was the funniest thing. And we're all like, who's that dog? So it was just like, it's a happy dog. And it was Tuca. His human I hadn't seen in months. He was so happy and confident and ran to Carlene to give her a kiss and to thank her. And he, I think, spoke to every person that walked by. Because everyone was saying hi to Tuca. And he would say, my name is, da-da-da-da. We're celebrities, because he was talking about the articles from the papers on the western part of the state and the news stations out there. And the woman he was with, who I think might be part of the home he lives in, she could not stop talking about the changes in him. And he just stood tall and proud and happy. And what I really liked was Tanner was talking to him, and they were talking about, he was like, oh, my dog, Service Dog, has the same vest, da-da-da-da. and Brian said, could you talk a little slower for me? Because I want to talk with you, but, I have my brain injury. Can you just, I want to talk, And I was like, he probably could have said that to someone, months ago. He probably just would have, pretended he knew what everything was going on. And it was so lovely talking to him and watching him talk to everyone. And I know Tuka's a major part of that. And that just, again, I'm like, I'll keep picking up poop.
Yeah.
This is what it's going to do. And that day, that Santa day was a fun day.
It was a busy day.
Busy day. And I hadn't seen Hunter since the winter, when his father came down and shoveled the roofs here. And Hunter and his sister came, and Wendy, and they actually were babysitting Wanda in the house.
That's funny.
Because Wanda was going crazy, and we had to keep him. It was like, so they took care of him. And that Hunter smile, which is just,
He's still like right there.
Yeah. And to see them, running around together and whatnot. But yes, I'm sure Andy is thrilled with the weather because he did a lot of work last year clearing the roofs. And back to the cards, unless anyone has something to say.
Not at the moment.
Okay. Okay, let's see, what do we have here? Enclosed is my dollar for dollar up and a check to pay it forward for 100 people who may not have the means to dollar up. Thanks for all you, your staff, the volunteers, and your dogs do for those in need. So again, I think that's what we keep seeing is people paying it forward, whether the swear bear or someone's dollar up, or again, just in my own little theory world, is since the cameras have gone live, the number of people who support us with poo pickers and such and everything is greatly appreciated. And those who can volunteer, I think they're volunteering, near their area. Because they can't come here and volunteer, but, that volunteerism, that heartness, they want to experience live. So I think Explore SDP has promoted more volunteerism hours in the world. And I just think, and I think of, people who are volunteering now, whether it be service dogs or anything, other animal rescues and such. I think Service Dog Project was a push to that. And we see that with even students who come here for their school hours, but they keep coming back. Lexi.
Good stuff with me for that.
That, because it does. They enjoy it, but also it does make you just a richer person. And I know we all greatly enjoy, I call them the youth, because I feel bad calling them the kids. But to see them, and I keep coming back, I just think that's wonderful. Lexi's graduating this year.
Yeah, in June, and then I'm heading to UMaine.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. What are we going to do, like zoology?
You gotta learn how to pronounce it correctly.
Zoology.
Zoology. That's what I have. I'll be asking zoology.
Oh, sure.
But I aim more for lab work, but I always laugh at people when they say zoology, and I'll say, could you spell that for me? And they'll spell it correctly, and I'm like, if you actually spell it the way you're pronouncing it, there should be 3 O's there.
So you never stop learning here.
This is true.
But it technically has one of those loud things too, but, being English here, we never have that when you ever see it.
No, what made you choose that?
I've always wanted to work with animals. So I don't know if I'm going to stay with it, but I'm just going to stuck with it.
Nice. Yeah.
Go to vet school.
I've never wanted to be a vet. I don't know why. Probably if I have to put down a dog or an animal, I could never do that.
Yeah, vets are probably some of my favorite people. I've always loved all the vets I've had. And it boggles my mind how they know so much. I just think they're cool people, and there's been a real increase in women going into but
It's
I
harder
haven't.
to get in vet school than it is in medical school because there's fewer
Yeah.
of them.
Exactly. I mean, that's it. They're smarter than anyone. And there was a great series a few years ago. It was on a British veterinary school. And any British show out in the country is cool. But this past year, Cornell Veterinary School did a 6-part series on National Geographic. And they followed some seniors and some first years. And it was very interesting because I actually learned a lot about horses because of their major equine hospital there. It was just sort of interesting to see that whole thing. But it was very interesting because I think vets have to be cool people because you really get into a lot. So Debbie is our CDC person that Carlene referenced in the DD. We do have quite that. That would actually be a fun survey. It's really like what we can always sort of do. Because we have a little bit of everything.
Carlene at one time had wanted to get a list of of everyone's occupations so she could figure out which were the wackiest or sending. And at one point I think I had sent out a note about that, but that was a while ago. But she's curious as to all the kinds of occupations everybody has now or has had.
And and that's what I think is really special about the youth, the students that come here, because they're really being exposed to so many different types of people, which I think a normal 16, 17-year-old, 10-year-old, as some of them have started, meeting, business owners, military retirees, trade workers, teachers, nurses, every type, every walk of life. And then when they are meeting, the recipients and such, they could have, severe health, emotional issues, which again, no sophomores in high school I don't think are encountering that. And you're learning real life skills here, because it's common sense what you have to learn here. So today, I really think for the most part, I have common sense, not always good farm sense. But I think I did pretty good, except today when I was out on Donkey Hill with my full wheelbarrow of poop and had to move a swing set because of the rivets and all the different balancing. And I'm like, okay, this didn't really work out as easily as I'd like. But I got through it, and I got something up.
Well, one of the things that always impressed me before I even met anybody here was the impression I got that the kids, or the youth as you want to call them, everybody is treated well here and not as though they're less than because they're younger. That's one of the things that I've always impressed with, Carlene being her age and hanging out with the young kids, and everybody gets along and everybody communicates well. And in a lot of places you don't see that because you have the differences of, well, they're too young, they don't know, or they can't do it, or whatever. Was impressed me that there seems to be a really good mix of everybody communicating and working well together.
And I know, when I first started, I learned so much from the kids.
I was just going to say,
the Laura and the Devin and the Connor.
Juliana.
Juliana
was actually my mentor. I spent a lot more time with Juliana than the others.
And I mean, first it started was puppy escapes, and I'd yell to the kids because they were faster than me. But it was like, okay, how do I mix the gruel, and how do I do this, and I really followed them around. And again, what I love, and I sort of call it like mentorship type things, but because I usually come on the weekends with like Skip and Bud, and when I see them with the boys, fixing fences and things like that, or, changing the tires on the golf cart, or putting up, flooring or ceilings, or, the doggy door things. Again, I don't think most kids these days are, using power tools and hammers and nails and things. And to see, Skip and Bud really explaining to them, what they're doing and how to measure. And I call it mentorship, and I just think it's wonderful that, again, they're having these men and women in their lives that they probably wouldn't have if they weren't here, and are really learning from them, and we're learning from them.
Oh yeah.
You know, I very much feel that, and as Carlene has always said, hey, and
Good
here,
morning.
I said, don't move. I'll move it. I'll be busy. I'll sit down someplace.
we're live.
Facing
The camera's
kitchen anyway.
the camera's on the pups, but here,
Oh, okay.
but we're just kind of talking,
Yeah.
reading some cards, and then we talk.
I see.
And
Okay.
We were just talking about the
Listen now.
wonderful.
Oh,
I thought that earlier when I sat down. I was like, oh, this could be problematic.
brother. Okay. Hi, Kaylee.
You want to
Okay.
sit?
Well,
You want to sit?
no, you're part of the show, aren't you?
But we were just talking about how with the youth, the mentorship of like Bud and Skip, when I see them helping, teaching the boys and girls how to fix fences and things, and how we learn from the kids, that there's a mutual respect between all ages here, and you learn from where you can learn, and
Right.
there's no
And the little child shall teach us sometimes.
yes.
Isn't that something?
I don't know, but they around here when I first started, I was saying the kids taught me
Yeah.
because that's who I was,
Yeah.
around most.
Oh yeah, Laura was like, Laura, you know, what do I do here? What do I do here? And she'd give me even pointers on do this first and da 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 da. When I was trying to help with preparing the meals and things like that, she'd have the shortcuts and such. So, all right, another Christmas card. On my glasses. Dear Carlene, thank you so much for all you and your staff do. Watching you can see the care and respect shown to each animal. Your mission is a noble one. I watch the progress of Bella and George with amazement. What a great pair. I also think about the rest of the lives you have helped. I met a Dane last week. It was the first Dane I had ever met. She was a wonderful animal. I told her owner about SCP and asked that they tell others. I know, we have probably, because I actually give thank you gifts. I don't give Christmas gifts. And I time my thank you gifts around the time the calendars come out.
That's a good idea.
So I have had people who have since come and donated and given me money to put in the fund, but if you walk through our building, you see a lot of calendars hanging up. And anyone who comes into my cube, I'll be honest, they notice it and ask about it, and I'm happy to talk about it. Here, and have a poker chip while you're at it. So I think that's what a lot of people, not just the CPs and such, everyone just wants to talk about it. And Carlene's nodding. Yes. She had a nice nap after supper tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We had a wonderful dinner of ham and fried ribs and potatoes and corn and bread pudding. Dear Carlene, with all the hate and evil in the world today, it is such a pleasure to tune in to the SCP world, see good being done by thoughtful people and beautiful days. Please use the enclosed money for one chicken brick, extra postage, and for the $1 used for Bella and George. It is, that $1 up.
Yeah.
It all adds up.
It certainly does. With this problem with Neil, and it's the first time I'd been at the vet where I just said, go ahead, spend it. We didn't cut any corners because of money, which I've done for the rest of my life. But I knew that I had that fund behind me. And actually since then, an awful lot of people have sent money directly to George.
Nice, thank you.
Which is wonderful. I don't know whether they get their deduction for it, which is something they should keep. We'll have to keep track of. I can get anybody wanting any IRS info from us. I will get the stuff from George. I did talk to the manager the other day. He said, the money was coming in.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Well, the most unbelievable was the dinner the other night. That was incredible.
We talked about that earlier. I think that's going to be one of the funniest things that that goes down.
That's one funny thing. That certainly is true. The fact that I could call up and order dinner and have somebody and George would pay for it. I mean, it's just, that was. The other one was around dinner, was trying to find the menu, the Chinese menu, and we couldn't find it, and somebody called from New York and said it's in your center drawer. It was. Those are two that justify description. People say, how could you mind people wandering in and out of the house? I don't mind. I mean, it would be, I could not run this place without everybody. I could not. So it's up to everybody to keep it running. And I'll just nap.
You are allowed. You are allowed.
It's getting cold.
You think?
It's getting,
I don't know. A little bit.
More dollar-ups? I think I
come on,
watched
now,
the...
wait a minute. She got to look at it.
I don't have the temp on my thing, but
Wait, that's like trying to build a fire with your. You can't tell it's cold out.
no, it didn't feel cold to me.
No.
But I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt by looking up the temperature.
Well, according
I
to
figured
mine,
it didn't feel. I mean, oh sure, whatever temp
yeah,
somebody
mine's
had.
at 54, Kim.
54.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Oh.
And I understand the Georgia Southern Stew is coming up.
Is she?
No, I mean the
For lunch?
the gathering in
the Southern
Georgia.
Stew on the 29th.
Oh.
Pam's house.
Oh, okay.
So, because Katie went down to visit with her mom,
Uh-huh.
so there's going to be 5 Danes and a 5 Danes and a bulldog.
But they usually
And
have
then-
about 5 or 10 people, don't they?
I think there'll be more this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to shortchange.
That was the
but it's
picture.
usually
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah.
of people,
Did
right?
they take a picture last time?
We did on
By the
July
pool,
that we
right?
did that. Yeah, when Katie came down the last time, that was just like 6 or 7 of us, not
And
that
that
many.
was the sign that was at Bella and George's when, wasn't it?
No.
That was early. They did that earlier, I think.
Oh, okay, that was something different.
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because Bella and George had a meeting.
No, it was the STP banner that everyone was holding in the audience.
Yes, they did
Oh,
have a
yeah,
picture
yeah,
of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But they're getting together again on the 29th.
Yeah, and I might
They're
try.
not regional.
I know. I think that's great. I'm gonna try and get my brother who lives down there to go. So I might have to call someone to get information. But I've told him he needs to go to that.
Well, and then there's the West Coast that's pulling together with Renee.
Oh. Well, there was a guy in Washington that wanted to, when he retires, might want to do this.
Yeah.
And I said, well,
Yes.
you need to come out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, just having groups of
Oh, Jill,
CPs get together
CPs.
for
Oh,
parties.
yeah.
I know that turnout in Florida because they did a Sunday stew last
great.
year, and then to go this year to the awards ceremony.
Did they have like 35 people that went? For
To the
George?
Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the ACE Award?
And then
Oh,
Shannon
yes,
happened to be
yeah.
on vacation at that time, and then Jade and Becky
Yes.
went, and I think Gary and Shirley were down there.
Gary and Shirley. Shannon.
It's next to my bed. I just filled it. That square bottle would be wonderful.
But yeah, I think these regional groups are unbelievable. Okay, Bill? Well, she's monitoring, Bailey's supervising us all.
She's a girl.
She did great. She took today. I hadn't seen her in a couple days or in a day, and she tooled on down. Bailey tooled on down to the parking lot and got lost in her favorite area somewhere. And I was yelling, Bailey, Bailey, and she's like, "What? I'm right here. Chill out."
Any questions, Leslie?
Not by now.
I know people are probably having their naps after
Right.
Christmas dinner.
It's funny that people have taken that they have mail calls as their quiet time of day.
I know.
To have people, around the world just sort of sitting down and watching us open the mail. Really, and all the money spent trying to write TV shows.
I know. places.
Yeah,
I know.
Just open mail.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest surprise
To who?
to you
To me.
during this, Explore time?
The numbers of people. The numbers of people that are entertained by just the sort of free-rolling society that we are. I mean, the bunch of us around here, we're just working, really.
Yeah, it's just another day.
A lot of problems, interesting things happen. Not all positive. I mean, it's, we get problems, we solve them, we go on. You don't script this mess.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were talking earlier about, the kids that, that volunteer here. They're really learning real life lessons.
They are.
Because sometimes you have to change on a dime of what you're doing because we've got 6 feet of snow or we've got sick pups or,
Yeah.
other people are out sick that, that's going to carry over.
Well, I insist that they don't come here for parties. I lectured a lot of kids the other day about this. You come here, you work. And some people are just, some kids are just, they can't handle it. And sometimes I don't get to say, would you please, move it! Somebody's going to fall over it. Huh?
I will say, I think we all remember fondly the first time Carlene spoke a little loud to us.
Spoke
I
firmly.
could tell you the exact first time and what she said.
Oh, I don't want to hear
And
about
I remember it fondly. With great affection, I remember it.
Oh dear.
But the second funniest thing she said to me was, and I was puppies. It was when we had the Chuppies and the Muppies together, and I was with them all. And she said, "Are you on this list?" And I'm thinking, I don't know what list she's talking about, and I'm thinking, at work, that you get nervous about what list you're on. And I'm like, I don't know. And it was the list for a dog that they were reviewing, and I'm like, oh my God, I got around okay.
Oh my.
She said, oh, so I was going to make a note on your application that you're volunteering.
Oh dear.
And I was like nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, what kind of list does she have here?
Oh
And do I
dear.
want to be on it or not? I was nervous. But yes, no, I didn't remember the first time very. And today is actually, we decided that I met Gail on Christmas last year. This was our anniversary.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, she had been coming before Christmas last year, but we just didn't meet together. And I had met Grace on 4th of July. When all of you are Grace.
Where's
Grace.
She's in Deagle.
She's in Deagle.
Illegal.
Yeah.
How we doing?
She hasn't given us any report. She just went to give fluids about an hour ago. I can go check. I'll just put my name.
Because I had met her on 4th of July when Carlene and Earlene and Paul and Bud and everyone were at a parade with the dogs. So we were wandering around kind of aimlessly like, okay, how many dogs did they leave us with? Make sure they same amount when they come back. And that they all have water. I think we're covered. I think we're okay.
Yeah. And then you learn to do Jesus' job.
Yeah, who would have thought?
That donkey is going to learn to ride the back of that truck. In the back seat. Not in the back. I was put back there. But there's no reason he can't learn to just jump in there. It's a perfect place for him. Can't fall down.
So you think they'll be able to jump that high?
Of course.
Nothing doing, just like, I have trouble getting in the car.
No, he's fine. They can pop in. Oh, God, yeah. They used to jump in the trailer, in the side door, so I didn't have to put the ramp down. But I had 8 of them, and they'd line up. One jumped right in there after the other. But you're dominant one has to go in last. Because if the dominant one goes in, the other two jump in at it. You got that?
Yeah.
Because it's sort of aggressive thing to do, to jump towards. So you put the dominant one in the back, so that everybody else gets on and he jumps in your back. Put him in first and he can't get the rest of them on. That's just one of those little mummies that people don't understand. It's almost that way with loading horses, two horses on a trailer. If one kicks the other, out in the field,
Right.
you don't want to put the kicker on first because the other one's not going to walk up the rear end of it.
The, not Maud, but the next largest one of the lighter brown ones, that one hasn't warmed up to me. Kind of still skittish around me. Seems back.
Something's happened to that one.
But I actually had all four of them, with me this morning, and she kind of stayed back a little bit, and then when they were all in the barn, the same thing, she sort of stayed behind. But Buddy, I think, is starting to know who I am.
Really?
Yeah, I felt he was sort of like responding to when I was calling him, and it could be all in my imagination, but I want it to be that way. But he would come right up to the fence.
I'd like to have him in here for mail call. Well, especially with stuff on the floor.
They don't seem to like to have their picture taken very much.
The donkey?
Yeah, it's like pick up my phone and they all would go, okay, no.
Well, I took their picture and I sent it to a bunch of people today. I'm like, from me and mine to you and yours. Happy long weekend. That's how I'm looking at it. Christmas is Christmas, but it's a long weekend. That's what I'm excited about. And next week we get a long thing too, so I'm very happy about that. And do you know that Lexi's going to UMaine next year?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Next year?
Yeah.
Starting when?
I don't know. Actually, I haven't gotten the acceptance letter yet, but the plan is to go there.
Very good.
Probably
Very good.
We'll work her like crazy through Labor Day.
I don't know if they're on semester systems and start probably in August. At least they down south they do.
School is weird now.
Yeah.
School is weird. I think they're finally figuring out that we don't have to have the children home to help harvest the food. So they begin to encroach on sort of both ends of June and August. There's really no reason to.
Well, down south, a lot of our schools start early to mid-August, and then they're out beginning of May.
Yeah. Well, you got a heat problem more or less, though, right?
Yeah, but schools have air conditioning. And honestly, it's hotter in August than it is in May or June, so that kind of doesn't make sense. I remember starting school. I grew up in the Northeast. We always started right after Labor Day, and then we got out at the beginning of June. But yeah, we have a heat issue, but August is way hotter than it is in June. So if they started in September, they would
How do your kids get out of school bus though? They have to wait out in the hot sun, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Oh,
Well, morning isn't that hot, so waiting in the afternoon, they're not waiting on the bus because they just jump right on the bus from school. So
that's true. Well, I'm glad you threw that.
With my high school, this year we started the last week of August. And
That's unheard of.
Since I'm a senior, I get out around May and graduate in June, but the lower class, they get out in June.
Yeah. Okay. What's going on? Why didn't she come back?
They're probably just chit-chatting now. But we did have the 3 pups out zooming around out here. So they got some energy out.
That's very good. They're getting very large. But we're right now not going to swap any dogs around until we get this diarrhea under control.
But everyone was saying today that they're really nice pups, all 4 litters.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them, and they really all are growing and behaving for the most part, and babysitting and such?
She's learning about Thailand.
What?
Thailand. She still has no idea.
Oh, yeah. We have Thailand. George did mention it.
Because we did that last time, but we didn't do that this time.
Well, let's go into Thailand.
Okay.
Do I find it?
It was a
We
white
have-
thing, wasn't it?
It's a jar.
Yeah.
The next problem's going to be how are we going to get it in the dog?
We didn't know either. She used butter last time. We had all those little
We have
cubes.
capsules. Did we?
I know that we cut all the cubes up and then had it all on those little pieces that we had. I don't remember what she did. I thought it was I don't know.
It's a powder, and it's a foul tasting powder.
Oh. I'll go.
I have empty capsules someplace
Okay.
that we put together, and that's an awful job. You do it outside because even sitting there doing it at a desk, you get it in your mouth.
But you know what? I had a dog who was on Metacam. It's a liquid anti-inflammatory. That stuff smells like rotten eggs, like no tomorrow. But he would just lap it up. It was, you know, you syringed it for however the weight was. They would tell you how many cc's to put in. He would lap that stuff up. And I'd be like, trying to pull it out of the jar.
They think that stuff smells good.
Oh,
Rotten stuff.
horrible. Awful stuff. Awful stuff.
So I guess that's the dog report that people had asked for. There's still some diarrhea going on. All over the news. So
This Thailand, Tylan, it's for sale over the, I think it's over the counter type. I mean, you can get it online. It started out being for turkeys. You put it in turkey's water. And then the pig people, I don't know how, discovered that it cured the pig scours, which are terrible. And then, 10, 15 years ago, a Great Dane person that I knew, an older person, said try Thailand. And at that point it was purely for pigs. But now I know that George has a bottle of it on his shelf. I went, this is way back. This is way back with the first, the second dog I gave away to a person, a handicapped person. She came and filled those capsules, and she had great long fingernails. And she sat there with this horrible face. I can still remember her. So that was back in 2004. That we found Thailand. And it does work very nicely sometimes.
And just to sort of paraphrase what you had said earlier, for Mr. Papa, is what you're so proud of is that the working dogs are happy dogs.
They are happy. My dogs are happy. George is the happiest dog I know of. He's having a good time. He's got a job. He stands up. He does his job. He's very happy with himself. When he walked out on that dance floor where he was, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better attitude. Sort of like, I'm here, just worship me. You know? He's good.
He gets plenty
He's
of
having a good
that.
time. I mean, look some of the shots he's taken when he's off leash and they're playing or whatever. And he's followed her on a bicycle. Just
Yeah.
Like, come on, you just play on the he's right with it.
And that sled video when he's like running out the hood.
I think that's probably one of my favorite videos.
Did it find any?
I did. I found it. But I left it in the kitchen. You want it?
I wanted it. What are you going to do with it next?
Well, I was going to see if Grace was going to wanted me to help her do something
It's a
tonight. Or
let's figure out how we're going to do this thing. You just found the powder.
powder into caplets.
Well, you found the capsule.
Yeah. It said Thailand empty caplets for Thailand.
Okay, so now we got to get the capsules full.
Oh, that's okay. We can do that.
Go ahead.
All right.
You got those
Is it all the
massive
same amount?
teeth.
Surely we can do that, right? Yeah.
Sure.
You're saying that it stinks and it's got a rotten taste
I
and we'll
heard
have
it
it
was
in
terrible.
our...
I'll wear a mask. I'll wear whatever. No, I think we'll be okay.
Okay,
But
go ahead.
but did we? But I thought we gave it to him on butter last time.
Probably put the capsule in the butter. That could do it. That would work.
Okay. So So just
the trouble is, I think you're trying for almost a quarter of a teaspoon, and I don't think you can get a quarter of a teaspoon in between two pieces of butter
oh, okay, got it.
without it falling all over the place.
Okay, all right.
So if you need, if you do the capsules, you go right ahead, guys. Probably outside.
You have to get a little piece of paper and roll it into a teeny tiny funnel. Ooh, that would help.
Well, go ahead, smart ass. Get out there and help.
I used to have to weigh teeny tiny little pieces of stuff for my first
But you go make your funnel out there. They're big capsules.
So thank you all for spending this non-mail call with us. And we'll see you again.
Goodbye. Oh, are we on?